college football all day. It's a Football Friday right here on The Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in. It's another edition of JJ and Alex. It's another edition of Football Friday. Jensen, Sylvester, Harvey, Langi, Sly, and Harvey nice enough to come in on these Fridays and hang out with us this year. Harvey, this is your first year doing the Football Fridays. How have you liked it, man?
It's been absolutely amazing. This has been great.
You know who hasn't come through on the snacks yet? Is this freaking guy right here. JJ hasn't had snack duty yet.
Hey, he's
what are you doing?
No,
he's royalty, man.
No, come on. Next week.
I think I could have done it last week, but I wasn't around.
Yeah, Halloween. He had a wig on last week.
I did have a wig on.
I'm coming up the steps. I'm like, what is that? It's blowing in the wind.
Oh, he really did?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm like, what is that?
Don't bring up wigs in Halloween, please. My son changed his outfit about 4 or 5 different times. When did you ever get 4 or 5 different costumes?
That's what I'm
crazy.
about to say.
When? You know?
We rotated our costumes.
So
you wore that last year.
Our youngest daughter, our second to youngest daughter, she's 5, and so what did she do? She wanted her outfit a month before it fired off. Give me this, and we got to have this. And we're like, all right, we'll get it. So we got it, great, and we were like, she's going to lose this before the night of. Didn't lose it, but what she definitely did was lost interest in it. So by the time it was the night of, she just basically wearing regular pajamas with like a fake cat-like mask on.
Stop.
Everything else is thrown out the window. Like, I'm not wearing that stupidity. I've been wearing it all month.
So when you got it, did you give it to her and she just was looking at it all month?
No, she was wearing it all the time. She wore it for like 3 weeks straight.
So that's the problem.
I know, but I couldn't I got it, and I was actually, there's part of me that was like, good. She's not just going to wear it the one night. Let's make her wear it all month. She's waking up, putting on her bluey outfit, and then and by the end of it, she was like, I don't want to do blue anymore. I'm going to be a cat.
Yeah, then my son has to go to his school
Put
thing.
a paper mask on.
And then he's like, I don't want to wear all these. I'm like, dude, you were just A, B, and C for the trunk or treat, and I'll just wear one of them to school. No, I don't want to. I had to go knock on the neighbors. The neighbor gave us a whole tote of wigs.
Sounds like a whole bunch more butt whoopers need to be passed out.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, and then we pop on this, afro type wig. Like, dude, you can be Bob Ross, man. He's like, who's Bob Ross? And then he dials in Bob Ross. And then the morning comes to go to school. My guy throws on an all-black suit, a chain, and shades with the afro. He's like, nah, I'm a security guard.
Okay.
I'm like, what? I'm like, dude,
looks like
you're 6 years old. How do you even know they dress like that, man? Like, chill out.
Hey, you know what?
You just changed your mind 8 different times. Like, do we
can
When
put it
did
down.
security guard become an outfit?
He never did.
Halloween.
He just wanted to be cool. He wanted to wear shades to school.
I'll tell you what, it's we're getting through it. So now that we're into November, if you can believe it, we've got lots more ahead of us here. When I say lots more, we just have a few more weeks of being able to talk some football through the rest of this season. So let's kick off the program as we always do. We got to get going here. I still want to ask a little bit about what Utah's done to turn that corner a little bit. We'll get to what what BYU has to do against Texas Tech to be able to get the win down there in Lubbock. Let's kick it off here with the cut right here, top of the program.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Doug Smith brings you this portion of the show. Doug Smith, of course, an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. It is the family of dealerships inside the Doug Smith, under the Doug Smith umbrella. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this Utah team again. You've obviously been able to watch all these games pretty up close and personal, but what's the thing that has changed the most? Maybe the thing that you looked at and you went, no, that's the biggest difference of this Utah team. For them to be able to they're not just winning games, Sly, they're embarrassing teams on both sides of the football, really in all 3 phases too, because now it's like every week you're getting block punts or punt returns on top of all of the other beat downs that they're doing on both sides of the ball. Cincinnati did not know what was going to hit them when they came into Rice-Eccles, and of course they did what they like to do, which is a guy who doesn't make very many mistakes, and Brendan Sorsby all season long, 1 turnover all year long, comes in, and they made him look foolish there at Rice-Eccles Stadium. What's the biggest difference, Ben?
Even as players, there's only so much talk that everybody can just believe in, right? And I just think that the talking was done, and now I just think that they're actually believing in the product that they have, right? You see them do the interviews. I really love this team. I got the greatest teammates and this and that. That's what you say. You say a lot of those things. Like even the coaches, like we got a great depth here. We got a number 2 quarterback who's actually not the number 2 quarterback. He's number 3 quarterback. But you guys don't need to know that. But like there's a lot of talk in training camp in the first parts of the season. You don't really know about the guy lining up next to you until you've gone through the ish. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that these guys have wavered the storms from the early morning games and the tough losses to, the rivalry games and how important that was and the narrative going in there and what you thought was going to happen and what you actually put on the field. I just think that they're actually understanding what they have and coming through and believing in that, right? And that's so much Harvey, when you grew up, what did coaches tell you or what did your trainers tell you? Football, what percentage of the game is mental versus physical?
99.
The game is literally 80+% mental. As physical as it is, you're running down on kickoff, you're blowing into somebody.
Says these guys who were born with amazing athletic
these genetic
bodies.
freaks sitting next to us.
What you talking about born with?
You're like, it's all mental.
Don't denounce my work. I've sacrificed. I sacrificed for this body.
Yeah, I did not like football the first 2 years I played. I did not like it at all.
Right. There's
Zero.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I played basketball. Guess what? I had fun. I got cool shoes. I played baseball. I got the little ticket after the game. Got to go get me, little nachos.
Slurpee, yeah.
Exactly.
And I played football, and I'm like, I had to be super sober. I have to bring everything I got to the table every practice. And I'm like, man, this stinks, and then I have to do it within 11 guys, 10 guys on this. And if I mess up, then he messed up, and then we all messed up. Yeah. I'm like, man, I just want to go home and, play Halo or something.
It's that fact right there, I think, is the biggest thing in sports, no matter what sport you are. I could talk basketball, right? Like as a kid, I was a sports junkie. In my mind, I could do everything. I could cross people up. I could go between my legs, behind my back. I could dunk. I could do that finger roll, George Gervin reverse. I could do all those things, but I never did it in real life, right? Until I just started believing in it, and I literally did it. My junior and senior year of high school, I was averaging 18, 20 points a game and fouled out every game. But in basketball, and then in
that's
football,
why the Utah coaches said, that's a football player.
They came to my basketball game and said it. It wasn't even my football game.
I always love that you added how many fouls you had in a game, like it was one of the stats.
It was a stat for me.
Fouling out of every game. That is a linebacker.
Out of the 28 games we played all the way to championship, I probably fouled out of 22 of them. But that belief, it was more of a life, and that's where I'm talking about. It's mental, right? And if you could control them, just like good quarterbacks, right? Your son's a quarterback, and how much do you tell him how much his right?
Reading the defenses, the decisions you make,
that's mental more than physical.
100%. You've done all the work before the game.
Yes.
But once you go to the game, everything you do out there, your physically is a reflex.
Yes.
Your body's trained to do that. Your mind tells your body what to do, and you've got to process everything out there on the field. You're absolutely right.
And I think that's the difference between the participation people, the good people, and even the great players is that level of control of your mental. And I think that's the difference between the 1%ers that go to the NFL or just play the game is the ability to handle adversity and be able to control your mind. And so, sorry to get back to your original question.
I think
Utah's just believing in what their stuff. They're mentally there.
I'll quickly keep it simple. Slide my observation. They did not execute well in both the Texas Tech and BYU games.
No, not at all.
Since that BYU game, they're executing at a very high level.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of it, think about the things in those games that did not feel like Utah, right? You got out physical.
Didn't feel like
Texas
Utah.
Tech,
Yeah.
right? You got out physical by Texas Tech. We were talking to the beat writer the other day. He's like, yeah, we heard all this stuff about how physical the offensive line was, and so when that defense pushed around that offensive line, I was like, ooh, that has to hurt to hear that because it took
really grinds my gears.
I know. At the same time, it's not like people go, yeah, Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomu are still not very good.
But it goes back to what Harvey said in the last segment.
They're still the number, like he's still. We looked at the draft board yesterday, and one of the projections has it number 6. Spencer Fano go number 6. Lomu go number 16 in the first round. It's not
16?
like yes.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't like they're like, oh, by the way, David Bailey, defensive end, leads the country in sacks. They had him at 22. So like that, those two guys they have going before even some of these other cats.
It's best on best.
Yes, and so this is the part of the thing. And again, you brought it up too, the BYU game. So there was a mental thing, I think, in that game. So they were as talented as BYU was, for sure. But they didn't get out physical as much. It was more about
Execution.
the mental stuff that broke down in that game.
Yes.
So those things have all come back together.
But that's a part of the
again.
game.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
a
come
part
back.
of the game,
It's all come back together again. And I think that winning games by 30-something points and scoring 40-something a game, people need to understand, like, this is rare air here to be able to see a Utah offense that is a top 5 scoring offense and a top 10 defense in scoring defense. It's a great spot to be in, and they're in a handful of teams that are being talked about still because people are like, no, they have all the metrics that add up to being exceptional, not just a good football team. So that part to me like stands out. How does BYU then shirk what have they learned, do you think, Harvey, in these games that they've had that have been these close ones that they've been getting dinged on now in the national perspective? People are going, man, they came back and they won these games. Now they're going, yeah, but they were down against these teams, and they bring it up like it's such a negative thing. And in my mind, they've learned a lot in those situations where they've had to come back.
But I think that's the beauty of that. Actually should help BYU.
Yeah.
It's just showing, hey, you were down 14 against Colorado or Arizona, one of the two,
Never
and
wavered.
then you guys came back. That brings a lot of pride, and that should be flipped the other way. And we were never down against that team. Well, guess what? You lost. We won. At the end of the day, it comes back to just who wins. You could start off however, but the way you finish it, if you take that win home, then what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to say about Utah is that they are running the ball great with Sean Parker. With Sean Parker, the past 2 games, Colorado over 100 yards, and then Cincinnati over 100 yards, 124. I think that they're taking pride, and I think it comes back to when they lost to Texas Tech, when Utah lost to Texas Tech, when Coach Whittingham said, we need to win the line.
Yeah.
And we got to, stress that. And then they lost it to BYU. Wayshawn only had 23 yards, and Dampier only had probably even less than that. So now that they're running the ball efficiently, it opens it up for everyone. Ryan, all the rest. So for BYU, though, this is going to be huge if LJ can play, which he says he is, and he can do what he does. But Bear is going to have to pick up the slack, and they know that Bear's a runner. He is 94 carries for 408 yards as a quarterback, true freshman. And then he has over 200 attempts and only threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Texas Tech knows we got to just rattle this guy. If we can rattle this true freshman and bring him out of his shell right now, which I don't think he's in a shell, stop LJ and do that, and then get to him. It's going to be tough because Bear and LJ together, it opens it up for everybody, for Chase, for Parker Kingston, for Carson Ryan.
Sounds like JoJo might be back this week.
So BYU just needs to run the ball efficiently against Texas Tech. If they can do so, then it's going to be a defensive game for sure.
It's going to be tough against that front. So what I think BYU is going to need to do in this game is throw the ball well. And that doesn't mean you have to just throw streaks and go deep the whole time.
You don't
got
have
to get the
you
ball
don't have to
out.
go 360 like you did
No.
against Iowa State.
But you're going to, like Arizona State beat Texas Tech. What was the recipe?
Jordan Tyson.
Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. So you had a great quarterback and a great receiver on the same page and healthy, which was rare this year.
Right.
But he got the ball out quick and he got it to the right playmaker. He ended up having 2 100-yard receivers in that game. That's how you got to do something to take that pass rush out of the game. You got to do something to neutralize that defensive front, and the quick pass game might be it. And I've seen Bear do it. I've seen Bear do it. He's shown that he can do that. He's thrown quick slants that turn into 60-yard gains.
Sly, let me ask you this. Jay Hill gets an extra week of prep on a team. How big of a difference does that make? Like, what are they do? What are they studying against this Texas Tech team? Because I just don't think that – I don't think Baron Morton is the killer that people thought he was.
No. I think it helps out a ton, right? To go back to when Harvey was talking, I was just like, Texas Tech and honestly all of college football right now, Bear's dangerous. I would say because he's so young, he doesn't have a brain. He's not thinking. Just going out and playing, right? And I can remember that my rookie year, I had no expectation, nobody thinking anything of me.
He doesn't have parameters that people have put on him.
There's no goal set. He's exceeded every expectation everybody thought. There's no expectation. He's just out there balling. He's backyard balling right now. And so he's in a prime position. BYU definitely take advantage of it. One, him being a baller. But two, him being young and not thinking about anything else, right? There's no off season to sit on and anticipate this season and build up on the expectations of last season. There's none of that right now. You're just cruising, and that's right there is dangerous. My rookie year, there was no expectation of me. I'm balling all the way to the Super Bowl. Right? And so that is a very dangerous position to be if you're an opponent. And you're talking about rattling. And this is what I'm talking about. You're talking about rattling bear. I'm just like, there's no rattling this guy. This guy.
Did you break something?
Yeah, the story of my life. So everything around my house has a hole in it. No, but there's no rattling this guy. He's absolutely awesome, and I just think that BYU just needs to stick with their game plan and them being down in all those games. Here's the thing. You talk about 2008, what does everybody say? It was an undefeated team, right? Nobody talks about us beating New Mexico 13-10 and being scared
What was it
about that.
Wasn't Wyoming close too, I want to say?
No, we beat them 48-0. That was at halftime.
Yeah, the New Mexico game was the oh my gosh.
It was right before the TCU game. Yeah, we were right about the.
But those moments happen in it's not that New Mexico had a great team and you guys were matched up perfectly against talent, skill on
You
skill.
got to execute on the day. Yeah,
and
on the road.
And some teams show up and they have a juice that that is different.
New Mexico
an emotional vibe.
They were crappy. Right, in quotations, but they played us. I can't say that I don't think we played great, but we were an outstanding team. But they played us really good that day.
Yep.
They played excellent defense. Their offense was tough. Special teams was great. But, you still have to execute on those days, man. And so the early tough games for BYU, they could take that into the end of the season and literally obliterate good teams because they've been through adversity.
Yep. We should do a re-rank of what we should do is go back to 2008, do our own college football playoff, and rank those teams like they were coming out in the college football playoff rankings and be like, yeah, but they had that close game against New Mexico. I put them down at 19.
Boise State hit them with that, that little sneak pass in the end zone right there.
Well, you can't do that in the SEC.
They call that a Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
This two-loss Alabama team just impresses me.
Yeah.
So
it just means more.
I think it's interesting you bring that up because I don't care what day it is. Trying to put together, I think it's unreasonable for people to go, yeah, just stay undefeated. That's all you got to do. It's it feels unreasonable to make that ask, but it also is unreasonable for people to ask BYU to go back and explain yourself in close wins. That is such a weird thing. It's such a strange
thing. Let me say
thing.
something
W's at the end of the day.
I'll say two things about BYU's situation with the close win thing, the coming from behind thing. Number one, they had the ability to come from behind from 14 points. That is special. That's a sign of a special team.
Right.
The other thing is they haven't played 4 quarters yet.
Yeah.
What game have they played?
They struggle to start
What game
fast.
do you feel like, wow, BYU has been their best for 4 quarters? Which tells me they have not yet played a complete game.
Yep. They were down against Utah by half.
Hold on, was it Portland State?
So there is still a ceiling left for this. I mean, if you want to count Portland State, I guess they played a full half, right?
Yeah.
There is still a ceiling for BYU that they have not reached yet.
Yeah. And, this is going to be a huge defensive battle. Texas Tech, I truly believe their offense, they have Cameron Dickey, 134 carries, 746 yards. My guy has 10 tutties. They need to shut that down because when he gets going, guess what? They have 3 wide receivers.
You saw what he did against Utah in the fourth quarter.
Well, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 3 all have over 350 yards, and they have 4 or 5 touchdowns each, averaging over 11 yards a catch. That's unreal for your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. And then their tight end comes in with 21 catches for 302 touchdowns, averaging 14. And then you have your backup, your third down running back that has 525 yards receiving. And this guy can score.
Dangerous guy, though.
Right.
Jacoby Williams.
Oh, man. In person, that dude right there.
What number is he?
20.
20.
He can go off.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, look. He's the guy who had that 75-yard run right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
You didn't want to talk about it because there was a defensive holding situation.
No, there was somebody who didn't get the right technique. This basic football
execution.
Yeah.
Slides over on the sideline.
What are you doing? Get the hole. Take the cut. Take the cut.
Doing his Jim Harbaugh.
75 yards later.
I was wondering how long it was going to take Harvey busted out the notebook.
Yeah, I got to bust it out.
Become a staple.
Well,
on our
and I
Fridays.
think BYU also needs to prepare for Will Hammond. Will Hammond has 43 rushes for
Oh, he's
almost.
out
got
for the year.
ACL.
He's out for the year.
Oh, he's out?
He's
Yeah,
out. He's
out for
out.
the year.
He's out.
I did not know that. So that's
ACL,
great.
he's gone,
So
he's out.
That's great. Yes.
yes, that's great because
Trust
my guy
me.
has 5
I mean,
touchdowns
God
on the
bless
ground.
him. God bless him.
I
Well,
honestly think that if Baron Morton played that entire Utah game, it doesn't look the way it is.
Utah
think
was
so either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Texas Tech's offense was not
He
moving
was
the ball.
scared. You see how Sorsby was last week?
Well, because Utah was doing a great job in man coverage. And
Yes.
Those
Yes.
deep outs he likes to
And
throw weren't
what,
there.
what is the bugaboo for man coverage? QB run game.
Yeah, and what did Will Hammond do? As
He
soon as he
QB
started
run
running
game,
on him,
and then
opened everything up.
And then Utah started having being frantic about QB run game,
Yep.
and then he hit
And
the
then the
double route.
Yep.
The last thing that I for this game for BYU against Texas Tech for me is because BYU we all know they can run the ball. They have LJ and they have Bear. So what is Texas Tech going to do? They're going to load the box, right? Let Bear beat us with his arm. Can Bear beat them with their arm? Going back to what JJ says, and can BYU's O-line block? Because right now Texas Tech has 28 sacks, and 11.5 of those sacks come from David Bailey. Can they stop David Bailey? Because that pass rush, if you want to sit there and try to get explosive plays, you got to get that ball out before 3 seconds. And if you don't, guess what? David's going to be in your face, and it's going to be a long day.
If you
for
don't
Bear.
make an accurate throw, Jacob Rodriguez is going to
Yep.
right there.
So,
You're right.
so I
That's
just
a
think
Are you talking about Virginia's old wide receiver?
yeah. So it comes down to the question: can BYU's offensive line block this front seven of Texas Tech? And if they can, I truly do think they'll have an opportunity to win throwing the ball and having Bear in the pocket.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We're late to it. We got to get you to the top of the hour. Also, we got Jazz
So
versus
much to talk
Timberwolves
about.
tonight. Jazz
man.
Timberwolves. I know you had this written down in that notebook of yours, Harvey. This is an NBA Cup game, round 2 of the NBA Cup. The much lauded NBA
I put
Cup.
round 1 on here. My bad.
We'll take a break. We got more to go around the corner. We are here at Mountain Ridge High School, Mountain Ridge and Harriman tonight. Facing off, the loser of this one has to play in Harvey Langi's local Turkey Bowl. So you got to be there. You got to be ready
Watch
for that.
those hamstrings.
The way these kids kick and throw, though, I'm always like, man.
Hey, we allow Stickum in our Turkey Bowl, so you can bring all the Stickum you want.
Yeah,
all
that's
right?
good. We'll take a break. Come back. More to go. 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone. Football Friday, hitting hard right now. Stevenson Sylvester, Harvey Langi.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I love having these guys. These guys are chopping it up during the break. What's great is that they'll just be real about, who needs to improve X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's great. What needs to happen is this, but that's why we have these guys come in and be like, hey, you cannot afford to do
We are no different than the guy on the couch in the basement.
Yep.
a little bit.
Take it with a grain of salt. But,
A little bit.
you know,
No, but
maybe
I
a
mean,
peppercorn.
a giant. Take that with a giant. I always say, people are like, take that with a little grain of salt. I'm like, with Sly, take it with an entire block of salt. One of those salt licks that the horse has. You can't trust anything. That guy's.
That's how I hunt right there. I need a salt lick.
Here's the deal. Lots going on. So many games, of course. The Utes are into a bye, of course. They needed it. Getting right this time of year, this double bye situation, the way the calendar works out this year actually works out for the Utes, and I think that it's important to have this time of year to be able to make sure you get right and you get your guys back to it. But bye week for the Utes, and then they get right back to it again. They got to go down to Baylor next week, so we'll see how that works down in Waco. It's not going to be the 1,000 degrees down on the turf down at in Waco like we've seen before, Sly. So let's go with our predictions before we get to it, though. Nominate that Youth Sports Volunteer of the Unit for the Hercules Hero of the Week award. All you have to do is submit that nomination, KSLSports.com. We read those nominations off on Thursdays, and then you get yourself a win with a prize from the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union and also Beehive Meals. Awesome sponsors of that program. Let's jump into these predictions right off the bat here. We're going to start at the bottom. Navy goes to Notre Dame. Navy's 8-1. I'm sure that Notre Dame loves being able to talk about how, hey, this is a great team over here. This is not an 8-1 team that you've seen facing off against other folks. Navy going to Notre Dame. Your prediction on this one, JJ? Win or loss for the Fighting Irish?
Easy dub for the Irish. I love Navy. I love what they do. And they're having a great season, but they're going to be overwhelmed by what Notre Dame can do. I got Notre Dame big.
I got Notre Dame also rolling in this one. When do they play Pitt? When's that game?
Isn't the week at late? Like 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now? The
There you
15th.
go.
That's the
Yep.
one I'm looking forward to.
I guess that's next week.
Sly, what do you have?
I got. Let's throw a zinger in there and go Navy. No, I'm just playing.
By the way, Notre Dame is a 27.5 point favorite.
You got to go to Notre Dame. Vegas
At
don't-
home.
Vegas knows something.
My goodness.
Yep, I'm taking Notre Dame. I love Navy does, but they're very predictable, and if they can't get 3 turnovers, it's just going to be exactly
They're just going to be overwhelmed physically
Okay, now,
for 4 quarters.
one of the big shocks in this week's first college football playoff ranking is unranked in the AP poll, Iowa, clocking in at number 20 on the college football playoff poll, and Oregon goes to Iowa this week. Oregon is one of these teams that's an X factor because if they lose another game, they could tumble right out of these college football playoff rankings. Iowa could be smelling blood there and say, hey, we're hosting these guys. Oregon and Iowa this week. Now, I've started to believe a little bit more in Iowa just because of the pub that they're getting this week. JJ, what do you have on
I'm
this
not
one?
believing at all. I got Oregon on the road winning this game.
Rolling?
Oregon's a 6.5 point favorite. I think they cover that easy, and Oregon wins this game. Iowa is still Iowa. I love their punter, and that's about it.
They got a great tight
They
end.
used to have good defense.
Yeah.
But, yes, I agree. Iowa's just Iowa. I got Oregon as well.
Kirk Ferentz feels a little bit like the weekend at Bernie's. They roll him out on the field, and then he
Such
Yeah.
a great
wins.
movie.
Then he wins
They
the
don't
game.
make movies like that anymore.
I miss it. I'm like you.
Physical humor that has to last the entire movie.
Uh-huh.
I just,
Give it to me.
Basically a Saturday Night Live skit for an hour and a half.
All day long.
I'm in.
I'm gonna go Iowa with the upset. I'm gonna go
Wow.
that they're buying into a little bit of what that pub is. I like Oregon, but I just don't think that they are
When's
the
the last time
explosive-
Iowa had a memorable win?
It's tough because
This would be it.
they do this a lot. They go.
Yeah.
They're 6-2 a lot this time of year.
Yeah, I was
Can
like,
they
how
turn
did
that
they get
corner?
to freaking
I'm gonna go
number 20?
Iowa though. Harvey, what do you got?
I am taking the Ducks. It is tough because both of them lost to Indiana, but they were by a small margin, and it was smaller for.
Oh, look at it. Now he's got to start hugging everybody. Oh, okay.
Hey, good luck.
We got a radio show to go. We got a radio show to do here. You
Hey,
can't
let's
hug
get the rice. Let's get the rice eccles, Al. Let's get the rice eccles, huh?
Well, you get his opinion first.
Yep.
So you're gonna go Oregon.
I am gonna go. Nope. I just flipped after just dabbing those guys up. I just felt like
feel good about
Iowa
it.
is just gonna
Okay.
upset them. I think Iowa.
Let's-
So
I'm
we
gonna
could
go
just take the result of this game as
Nope,
your-
I'll go
as your
Iowa.
pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Short time here. Let's go straight to the big one. BYU versus Texas Tech. Cougs taking on the Red Raiders down in Lubbock. I already made this prediction earlier in the week, and so I'm going to have to stick to it. I think Texas Tech ends up stealing this one away. I think it's going to be a 23-16 game in favor of the Red Raiders down there at their place.
I got to go selfishly, man. I want a Holy War Big 12 championship, man. So I got to get Texas Tech out of the picture, and I think this does it, man. So let's have a BYU win. I think it's going to be a dogfight. 10 a.m. kickoff. Offenses aren't going to be awake. I'm going to go point score late, just like the Utah game. So 20-17 BYU.
This is tough for me because Texas Tech's a massive, massive favorite.
Weird, right?
At 10 a.m. in their stadium.
Double
I
digits.
get it. It feels too easy for Texas Tech. I feel like BYU is in this position where nobody believes in us, blah, blah. We haven't played 4 quarters yet. My brain says Texas Tech, just like the spread.
My heart.
My heart says go Cougars.
You just need to do that.
I'm not going with my brain or my heart.
Yes, he did. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
This is
Yes,
a
he
feeling.
did.
This is a feeling that BYU is going to find a way because they continue to find a way.
Yes.
They're going to win this game 23-20 in overtime.
And I think that I like
Overtime,
that.
wow.
No, I like that because I think there's an identity there. And for me, if there was one word to describe this team, I think it's resilience.
Harvey, let's go
and that-
quick
Well,
here.
I got a feeling too. I think BYU is going to take it. I think BYU is going to score 2 touchdowns and kick 3 field goals. They're going to be 24. And I believe, wait, is that 24?
No,
23.
But with a 2-point conversion in there, we can make it work.
No, 23. I think they're going to be 23, and then I think Texas Tech will be 21.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a huge defensive game.
I like it.
Oh, you think a missed field goal at the
Separated
end
by
or
a
something?
safety.
It's going to come down to a missed field goal.
All right.
Look at you.
Let's take the break here. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up next right here on our Football Friday. Stay with us, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
All college football, all day. It's a Football Friday right here on the Zone. Whether it's the Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, we've got you covered. This is a Football Friday edition of JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, final 60 seconds of the show here as we get you ready. The Utah Jazz facing off in Minnesota, taking on the Timberwolves. JJ, how's this one go tonight? NBA Cup action.
I'd like to see the Jazz win this because the Timberwolves missing the playoffs gets the Jazz another lottery pick.
Come on.
Anthony Edwards is a little banged up, but don't know if he's going to play or how effective he's
You're
going to be.
right, though. Anthony Davis is always banged up.
Right, but it's a chance for the Jazz to go in there and sneak one.
I don't know. I'm hoping so. But you're going to get your pregame coverage, of course, coming up here in just a few moments. Stay right here. Stay dialed in. Jake Scott next on your Jazz pregame on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.